Hey guys, it's Keelari, and today's video is going to be about Ami and what's been going on with him for the past few months. Please excuse the helmet hair. I've already ridden him and Mia today. It's quite toasty. But anyhow, I don't know if I've ever really talked about it much on YouTube, but if you follow me on Instagram, which is linked below, you would have an idea of what's been going on with him. So it wasn't long after, I would say it's probably early March, he got a case of hives. So he was off for a few weeks because of the hives, and we had a hard time figuring out what was happening. Are you chewing on the chair? You are, aren't you? But yeah, we had a hard time figuring out what was happening and causing it, and it turns out it was the contact issue of him laying down on pollen because it was spring. Mommy, can you please stop? So you just tried to bite me, you little butthead. Yes, so anyhow, he was on antihistamines and antibiotics just in case. So we were able to get rid of those, and we changed his bedding constantly so we can get rid of any of the pollen that lands on it. And then we got him back to work, and then all of a sudden he started coming up really sore in the hind end and then really sore in the front end from putting all his weight on the front end to relieve the hind end. So I had my vet come out, we did a bunch of flexions and basically a lameness exam, and found that he had extremely sore stifles, which is what we had already guessed. And we went ahead and had him both injected. He's never had his stifles injected before, just his hocks. And keep in mind he's 20 and he's a thoroughbred. So yeah, so we had him injected, and then when my vet was doing the injections, she said that the way, like, you can tell how tight a joint is and the fluid based on inserting the needle. So stop biting me, I know you're bored. So basically she said with what she felt, it did not feel like arthritis or anything. It felt more of a traumatic injury. So pretty much he'd gotten cast, and then because he was so sore on the hind end, he was overcompensating and overusing his front end. And it was really hard to tell if he was right hind sore or left front sore. You probably shouldn't be eating plastic. So it was really hard to figure that out, and we thought maybe it was just soreness from overcompensation because his left front is a lower heel than the right. He has the typical thoroughbred feet. I mean, they're strong and everything, but as far as the toe and heel. So yeah, so we did that. He had 3 weeks of hand walking to get over that, and then he did get better, but then he started getting worse again. And so we finally came, you're so cute. So we finally had my vet come out again because I noticed that his lameness was more of a left front issue. So what we did is we ended up doing x-rays on him of the left front, and we found that he had a little bit of inflammation in his impar ligaments, both impar ligaments and the left front. Stop, Mommy, stop eating me, stop. You're annoying everybody and me. So basically he had, you can consider it navicular syndrome. Navicular syndrome is basically anything that has to do around the whole structure of the navicular bone. So his navicular bone itself didn't show any, sorry, there's like flies everywhere. It did not show any degeneration of the bone itself, nothing that's out of the ordinary for a horse's age. So it wasn't arthritis related. So it was more of the ligament, and because it's in the navicular area, that's why it's called syndrome versus regular navicular, which is more of the actual bone itself. So pretty much we think that he had overused himself and caused a little bit of navicular on the left front because that's the lower heel. And strangely enough, we found another anomaly in his x-rays while we were there, and he has a bone chip, and we never even knew about it. And hi. So one of his sesamoids is actually cracked in half and floating up in his ligament, intersesamoidal, something like that. I'll put the actual name of it right here, but that's the actual ligament, and it's kind of just floating there. And based on the amount of bone remodeling, it is something that happened a very long time ago and is most likely what ended his racing career. Ami has 18 starts and he raced until he was 6. I got him around 9 years old and he's 20 now. So who knows, somewhere in that time frame, I don't know. He wasn't really a very successful racehorse, so I don't get why they raced him until 6, but that's not the point of the video. Anyhow, if you don't know how often, or not how often, but generally when a racehorse gets that kind of injury, it's when they either hit the ground, the fetlock collapses during gallops and hits the ground enough to crack it, or the back leg overreaches and just clips the front fetlock, or a horse could put a leg through a panel and pull back and break it. I mean, there's lots of different ways, like getting cast or whatever. But most likely it was an overreach type of thing on the track, and that's what ended his race career. So it looked old, the area around it looked fine, so we didn't really think much of it. It was just something that probably should have ended his entire career based on the location, but he's been sound, I mean, like ever since. Like, he should have been retired, period. Not just race retired, but anyhow. So we went ahead and did the regimen of changing the shoes. We tried regular shoes with gel, Equipack gel, and then a mesh type pad, not the regular traditional rubber, or not rubber but plastic or leather. It's an actual mesh material that holds the gel in. Well, he abscessed within a week of having those, so we had to pull him, break the abscess, get him over the abscess, and then he can't have bar shoes or pads, because bar shoes he constantly pulls and pads trap moisture in and he constantly abscesses. When I got him, he had bar shoes and pads, and it took about a year to wean him off of them because he just kept constantly pulling more hoof off and abscessing, which is no fun. I mean, like, really? Who wants to do that every day? Soak hooves, basically. Yeah, so all we're left with being able to do is just do a rolled toe on his front hooves. And I think it's helped, and we've cut a lot more, like as much toe as possible off. And he is probably halfway through his cycle right now. And he's I prefer 5 weeks, but my farrier is only able to every 6 weeks. I know, huh, me? So that's it with the shoeing. He was also started on a regimen of daily Equiox, which is the same thing as Previcox. I just believe Previcox is meant for dogs, and Equiox, it's either Equinox or Equiox, something like that. Yeah, so he gets that daily now, and then we were doing tack walking for 30 to 60 minutes 4 times a week, and we're still doing that. And then about a few days ago, I was talking to my vet. She was at where I work. Where my horses are is different from where I work. She was at my work for another client, and she came over and like, hey, how's Ami doing? Want to know how he was, because he was pretty body sore when we last checked on him. So she wanted to increase the walking and then add in a few minutes of canter work each direction to loosen up his body, because he was getting really stiff and walking's not enough for an older horse. And he's the kind of horse that if you don't do much, he falls apart, which is unfortunate. So we added in a couple minutes of walking, or canter, in addition to his walking. We chose canter because it's less impact on his body than trotting. So it's been helping, but she was telling me a week before that she was x-raying a different client's horse, and they came upon the same exact sesamoidal fracture. And it was really interesting because it was the bone is lodged in the same exact part of the ligament. And then they did the heel block, which we also did for Ami when we did the x-rays. We heel blocked him, and then he improved about 80%. So the other horse with the same exact heel block placement, it's a nerve block basically. So anyhow, the horse had the same exact 80% improvement. And the only difference is the other horse developed a bone spur from it, but Ami does not have a bone spur. His bones are actually really good. So it was interesting that the horse has the same type of lameness as Ami and the same type of injury, except this horse's injury is a lot more fresh. Well, I don't know how fresh, if it developed a bone spur. Maybe it's not that fresh, but I don't know. What do I know? I'm not a vet. Anyhow, she was saying it was very interesting how the lamenesses were really similar. So she's wondering if his issue is actually the bone chip after all, when we thought it was just something old and done with. So basically what we think happened is he had knocked, within 6 months or something, he had knocked that bone chip somehow. He had dislodged it, and he could have done that getting cast, stepping wrong, tripping, landing from a jump, galloping a turnout. I know, he could have done it in the trailer pawing. There's so many different ways that he could have done it and just dislodged it and made that healed ligament angry again, so inflamed. So yeah, we're kind of thinking that's what it is. So basically, you would treat that with, just like a tendon injury, you do 6 to 8 months of stall rest or hand walking or whatever you want to do. Some vets are different with how they treat tendons. But the issue with Ami is he can't have 6 to 8 months off. He's already had 3 months and was starting to fall apart. And he was starting to fall apart after just 1 month of that. So he can't have the full 6 to 8 months like we did for Prince, basically. But I'm able to hand or tack walk and then do the few minutes of canter just to keep his body moving. and it might take him longer to heal, but he should heal to the same degree as if he was given complete 6 to 8 months off, just so his body doesn't fall apart and get worse. Because, and it's not age related for him, he's always been the kind of horse that just falls apart with time off, which is why he's generally inconsistent work. Stop eating me. Stop. I love you too. Do I taste good? But yeah, so I'm trying to think if I covered everything. I'll show you a picture of the x-ray too, where you can see the bone chip. So based on that, we're still gonna do the same thing as if it was navicular, because he still does have like a teeny bit. So pretty much he had dislodged it. It was a little interesting. We thought it was hock soreness, but because that was several months ago, maybe 6 months ago, that he kind of had that little bit left front unevenness. We thought it was hind end related, which it wasn't necessarily all hind end related, but that was part of it. But when he cast himself and overused the front end, that just exacerbated the issue, so it made it a lot worse and a lot more prominent. So for now, he's on his little regimen of tack walk and canter and the Prevocox and the shoes, and he recently stopped eating his joint supplement, his Nimble Mega Nutrient, and he's really picky about stuff. So I tried the beetless pellets, which is what, devil's claw? I don't know, I don't remember the ingredients. And he likes them so much, he will eat the pellets straight out of my hand without any other grain. And then I came across Devil's Claw Plus, and I can never pronounce the brand that makes it. And it's the same ingredients as beetless, but it has even more types of herbs and a stronger therapeutic dosage of the herbs. So I tried that with him for the first time today, and he actually ate it, which is really surprising. I wouldn't think he would eat something herbal, but he actually did. And the only thing is, it doesn't give the amount of joint support that I would like for him to have. So I ordered Smart Flex Senior Pellets from Smart Pack, a month's supply, to see if he'll eat it. And I chose that because it has the amount of joint support that I was looking for, but it also has the same types of herbs as the Devil's Claw Plus, but even higher therapeutic dosages targeted specifically for senior horses. So if he'll eat that, I will keep him on it until he decides he doesn't want to eat it. Then I'll switch to a different joint supplement and then cycle back to Nimble whenever he's ready, because if you saw my Mary's tack haul, you would have saw I bought a year's supply of Nimble Mega Nutrients. So I'm just gonna hang on to it until he's ready to go back to it. So I think that's everything, huh? Yeah? Oh, nope, not everything. So because he basically ruptured an old injury with that bone chip ligament issue, and you know, totally separate from the fact that he has the navicular impar inflammation, which has actually gone down a lot, we made his corral into a double corral, so it's now a 24x48 corral, just to get him walking more and to increase the circulation. And I liked the herbal supplement because it aids in inflammation, so it has anti-inflammatory properties, and it eases any pain associated with it, and it's all natural because it's herbal. And so my vet and I were talking about it, and he should be 100% sound once it's healed, but we both agree it's in his best interest to retire him from jumping and eventing. Yes, I said retire. You can't jump anymore. I mean, he would have been sound to jump, but it would have been asking for a reoccurrence of his injury, and I just don't want to risk that. I mean, he's 20, he deserves retirement 7 times over. He's done so much for me. I mean, he's taken me from D2 to be traditional in Pony Club and eventing all the way up through prelim in Pony Club. So, I mean, he's taught me how to ride and deal with crazy horses. So he's taught me so much. I mean, there's no question that he's deserved retirement. For now, he's staying here for his retirement just because this is his home and his buddies are here. And he really likes to see me every day. I'm not just saying that because I'm selfish. Like, no. Like, he actually is a very much one-person horse. So he is staying here just for now. I mean, I don't have any plans of moving him. He's not being half leased to anybody in his retirement. I will keep riding him. He will be sound enough to do dressage work and flat work and pulls and maybe some cavalettis, but as far as jumping, it's a little bit too much of a risk at his age. I don't want him to re-injure himself and then really fall apart because, I mean, he is 20. I think it's pretty incredible that he was able to event through training level at 20 years old. And I don't know, I just want him to stay sound and happy in his retirement. So I guess he's considered semi-retired right now. But yeah, so that's like the take-home message. We finally figured out what's going on with Ami. We have a treatment plan. It was just so hard figuring out what was wrong. And sorry if I've been talking really fast this whole video. There's just so much in my mind that I want to talk about and tell you guys before I forget, and it's already 15 minutes long. Yeah, so no more jumping for this guy, but that's fine. I mean, I kind of got Mia for this very reason. I wanted to get Mia before Ami retired, so I'd have a chance to retrain a racehorse, or, you know, retrain an off-the-track thoroughbred while I was still competing Ami, so that when he was ready to retire, I'd have another horse to take his place. Not like, you know what I mean, to be my new show horse and continue to bring up through the levels. So now that Mia is officially eventing, she did her first one-day event a couple weekends ago. If you want to see that, check up there. Or is it there? No, I think it's up there. But yeah, so it's really nice, and Prince is back at the barn, and I might try hopping on him in a couple weeks, maybe a month. Yeah, so right now I'm just lunging him, building up his muscles again so he's able to hold me comfortably on his back. And I think that is everything. Thank you guys for watching. If you've been watching this long, yeah, it's a long video of just a sit down talk video, and Ami's been a very good boy. He's napping. Yeah, that's everything. Oh, and I've been using Back on Track products in addition to his regular all the other stuff we've been doing. So Back on Track bell boots and the quick wraps. So that's everything. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm just glad I'm actually able to tell you guys what's wrong with Ami now. He just hasn't been in many YouTube videos because I haven't been able to ride him much. But like I said, if you follow me on Instagram, you would know more about what's going on with him and this whole little issue. But yeah, so I'm glad that he is going to retire sound. It's kind of a bummer he's not able to jump anymore. He's not going to be happy with that. And I just keep making this video longer and longer and longer. Like, how long is this outro? Well, whatever. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
I'm not the same as I was with you. I would jump out my skin just to get you. Oh my God.